PDSA is like a problem-solving method. It's a way for us to solve a problem using certain steps.
Something that you use, like a model that you use to improve something that you are currently doing or you think needs to kind of be revamped.
PDSA to me is make a plan, student plan, do something with it, study it, and act.
A PDSA is basically a process for problem solving, and it kind of gives you a way to do it. Plan, do, study, act.
One of the questions I had was, first of all, how much time will it take? Because I knew it was going to be a lot of time up front. So time as far as like figuring out what I'm doing, gathering materials, teaching the kids what a PDSA is, and then setting it up and getting them on board. So the time, and then
because I had no idea what the PDSA was. My first question was how is it any different from what I'm already doing? They said it was something that you can use to improve something you're currently doing. I'm like, well, we already do that anyway. We collaborate with a group of 4. I'm constantly thinking on my own, how can I make this situation better? So at first I was wondering, how is it different? How much extra work is it going to be to solve the problem?
I think the questions I had is I wanted to know, what did this look like? What would it look like? And I needed to know, or I wanted to know, how this was going to help my students. I didn't want it just to turn into a lot of work for me, and it didn't result in any progress for my kids that I could see after spending the time.
one of my other 6th grade teachers, we both felt like our students in math, we didn't really enjoy teaching math because, well, due to the fact that students, they really seemed like they weren't really into it. They just kind of methodically took out a math journal and did their work, and they didn't really see their progress along the way.
My math class, where they would pre-test on the unit before we even took it, and that's what I used as like my baseline data to see where they were. And they would pre-test, and I'd have a list of goals for the kids, and then we'd grade them, and they'd either have green if they met a goal on the pre-test, it'd be green. If they were kind of in the middle, it was yellow. So if they really didn't have much of the goal met, it was red. They were really strong in that they didn't need to focus on, and I didn't really need to focus on it with those kids. They had an idea of where they were okay, and then they had an idea of what goals they really needed to focus on throughout the whole unit, because those were the goals that they really didn't understand at all. Then as we went, and then I would teach the unit, and as we went through, there was other ways of monitoring their progress as we went. But then at the end of the unit assessment, they took the same test, and then they could see the growth, whether they went from red to yellow, or if they went from red to green, or even if they did yellow to green, we could see growth in more ways than just pass or fail.
So another teacher, we wanted to increase responsibility, and we also wanted to have a way of students tracking their learning, and then ultimately that would lead to students being more aware of their learning. So kind of the common need that another 6th grade teacher and myself had, the need of making math better.
The PDSA process has changed my thinking, it has changed my teaching a lot. I didn't think that it would at first, but I know now it has, because I will develop my plan, pick my students, and I think of it more as I'm able to keep my eye on the prize, and so do the students better. I'll have it on the board. They can look at where they are. They'll look and they will know exactly where they need to be, and they see that every day when they walk in. So I know that it has brought more of a focus to the kids and where they are. And sometimes that is a little tough talking about, yep, you're not at grade level, but here you are, and this is where we're going to get to.
Good.
So I think it's definitely been an eye-opener for them, And I like that they can see it every day, and for myself.
Good.
To it when I got done doing one on my own for the first time. Before, we did a couple, and you did it with a group, and it was good and everything, but I really wasn't like 100% invested into it because it wasn't something I really needed to be fixed. But I would say when I did one in writing for the very first time, that was after it was done and I got the student feedback and I looked at the data and I looked at what they were doing previously, and then after the PDSA, I noticed that when doing these things, there's huge rewards when you actually put in the time and the effort to, invest in that problem and try to make it better. So, after the first one.
I think the moment that I bought into the PDSA thinking was when I sat down with my kids with their IEP binder and told them where they were. And then I could show them where their grade level peers are, and so that they could see this visually instead of just coming into your room, for help. So now they can see this gap, and they know where they are and they know where they need to go to. Otherwise, that was never very visible to them. And I kind of saw a light go off with them, which made, I think, teaching easier for them. And I think they bought into it,
Good.
which was very good. It's what we
Yeah.
wanted, right?